So as you know, Joe Rogan previously was a Bernie bro. Joe Rogan was a Bernie bro. He loved Bernie Sanders. He got caught up in the feel the burn movement and all that bullshit. And obviously Rogan's moved away from that a lot. This particular clip is one of the saddest clips you'll see because Joe Rogan is not even trying to own Bernie Sanders in this clip. He's not. Bernie Sanders is owning Bernie Sanders. And Joe Rogan is calmly asking like, well, but that's not true. It's so bad. So let's watch this.
And I got to say, I mean, one of the things, and there's a lot of arguments about Trump, that worries me very, very much is this movement toward authoritarianism and going after media, suing media, taking away the authority that Congress has.
When you say suing media, are you talking about the CBS lawsuit?
Among other things. He has,
right, but don't you think there's a real issue with what they did?
No.
You don't think that there's a real issue in editing conversations to give someone an answer that's different than what they really answered?
Joe, I've been on 8 zillion shows, right? In my life.
Okay.
Now, should I sue you if you ask me some stupid question that I don't like, right?
That's not what is happening, Bernie, and you're too dumb to realize it because you have peak TDS. That is not what's happening at all. This is not about opinions, about not liking something. This is being deceptive on purpose in order to fool the American people. The proof is in the pudding. We've seen it. We've seen the ABC. Is it ABC? Is that the one, or was it CBS? The ABC news clip where they just manipulated her answers. Or was it CBS? Which one was it? It was CBS? Okay. I can't keep up. This is it right here.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
That is insane. That is absolutely insane. And the fact that Bernie Sanders is trying to justify that is fucking crazy.
Or that you do something. Should I sue you?
Yeah, but that's not what he's getting.
Well, he has sued. He has sued ABC.
Mm-hmm.
He has sued.
And why did he sue ABC? Does anybody remember? And I'm going to try to remember this off the top of my head. So George Stephanopoulos, or Slopadopoulos, as Trump calls him, I believe that Slopadopoulos made a claim that Trump was found guilty of graping E. Jean Carroll. Is that what it was? Yeah. And he was not found guilty. He was found guilty like of a civil or something like that. But like Slopadopoulos said, like he was found guilty. Yeah. And so you can't say that.
Meta?
Liable. That's what it was. He was liable
Register
in a civil court.
Because of a poll that came out during the campaign that he didn't like. All right. He is suing CBS for this Kamala Harris interview. So do I think, how many, I cannot tell you the number of stories done about me that were not good stories.
Right.
That were dishonest stories.
Dishonesty or not good stories is different from clear and obvious slander in order to manipulate the American public from voting for him. It's also different than editing an answer to make Kamala Harris look far more educated than she is. Yes, election interference.
That's what a free press is about. You don't like it, you got to live with it. All right? You do something, I'm not going to sue you, Joe.
Right, but it's not that simple, right? Like, let's not talk about Trump, but let's talk about another candidate. Let's just imagine there's someone on the right and someone on the left, and there's a concerted effort to promote this person that's on the right. And so the polls are rigged, or these are funded polls that make it look like this person on the right is winning by a substantial margin. And what this does is decreases the motivation that people have to come out and vote against them.
That's happening.
So it's fake.
By the way, that happens right now.
It is happening right now. And I think, is that part of what he's suing them about?
No, it doesn't. Look.
But isn't that what he's suing them about?
Well, he's suing ABC for one thing.
But with the Des Moines Register about the poll.
Yeah, I know the pollster there.
Was the poll incorrect?
Yeah.
Yeah, the poll was wrong. So what?
Right.
Guess what?
But what did they know?
It wasn't just wrong. It was fucking outrageously ridiculous. And it was trying to motivate people to go, well, if he's losing by that much, there's really no point to even go.
Oh, it was incorrect when they published it.
No, they published what they thought was an accurate poll. But that pollster, by the way, what's the name? Okay, Seltzer polls.
I should just state for the record, I don't know this lawsuit, but
what it was about.
But I am aware that in talking to people that understand polls, that some of these are politically.
All right, but the answer is yes and no. There are polls right now doing exactly what you say.
Right.
I could doctor a poll. I could talk to more conservative, more progressive people, get the results that I kind of want, right?
And they do it to motivate people or demotivate people to vote, and it's effective.
It has an impact. All right. On the other hand, this particular poster, it's the Des Moines Register, not a huge newspaper. I bumped into them because when you're running Democratic primaries, Iowa is a big deal. They are a very, very respected pollster. Okay. They don't doctor polls. So they made a mistake on a poll. It turns out they had.
Thanks, Bernie. I didn't realize that you had all the answers. So thank you for letting us know that, Bernie. They just don't. They don't. Bernie Sanders knows.
Trump doing worse than he ended up doing. Guess what? Posters, honest posters, make mistakes too.
But what is the basis of his lawsuit? Like, what is he saying in the
lawsuit? I think
he
is saying that gave energy to his opponents, and that it was. He's
like
saying,
we talked about.
Like you talked about, but I don't believe that's the case. There are honest pollsters who make mistakes.
But what about the other the other lawsuit with the conversation that they had with Kamala Harris, where they edited the answers that she had to make it look more precise?
60 Minutes, they were suing 60 Minutes.
Yes.
Is, to my mind, historically, even around for a very long time, they're not infallible. But I think you look at most objective people will say 60 Minutes has a sterling reputation for investigative
Nobody says that
But that's not investigative journalism. If you change someone's answers. If you ask her a question and she comes with a rambling answer that doesn't make sense, and you edit that out and insert another answer to a different question that seems more cogent.
Right, Joe, you're walking down. You're walking down a dangerous path. Suing media has the impact of intimidating media. All right, if somebody sues you, all right, let me finish. All right,
okay.
Somebody sues you, why not you? You could be sued tomorrow, right? Because you are doing this, you're too sympathetic to this,
right?
And Joe, you did that, and they have a big law firm behind you. You're going to have to spend zillions of dollars defending yourself. You know what? Next time you do an interview, you say, maybe I'm not going to go in that area. Right?
No, I am so happy that this happened, because this is going to show because Joe Rogan has the biggest podcast in the world. And this just shows you what Bernie Sanders is all about and what TDS is all about. It gives you some insight into how deranged and how mindless they are. It is absolutely unbelievable.
No, but it's not that. It's editing things to make deceptive editing.
Joe,
so in deceptive editing,
I don't know,
give people a different perception of who this candidate is than reality.
Right, but you got to explain.
But that's not objective journalism.
I know, but
that's campaigning for that person.
Right, but
would you agree with that?
I don't have those details. I don't know that I agree with your analysis of it. I don't know enough.
I think that's universally accepted that that's what they did.
And you got to tell me why he is suing ABC. Why are you suing Meta?
Let's just talk about the 60 Minutes one first.
No, but it's not just.
We could go to ABC, but I'm not aware of that one either.
Well, George Stephanopoulos said something that he didn't like.
No,
but
it's not.
What did Stephanopoulos say?
I can't remember. It was I honestly don't remember.
Oh, yeah, you can't say it.
What he was saying was factually incorrect about the results of one of Trump's trials.
All right. Guess what? If I were to sue everybody who said things that were factually incorrect about me, I'd be suing people
Oh my
zillions of times.
gosh,
But,
dude.
but Joe, what you're saying is, look, does media get it wrong sometimes? Absolutely.
Bernie Sanders is clueless. And this clip is another example of why the Democrats continue to lose, because they are out of their minds. They are lost in their Trump derangement syndrome, and they cannot recover. It's over. It's completely over.